This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, December 20th. A major success. That's how businesses are describing the VAT-free day in Barbados. From as early as 4 a.m., consumers started forming long lines to cash in on the savings, and up to late this evening, most outlets still had a steady stream of customers. Our news team spoke to business owners in the city.
Okay, from the time we opened this morning, we had a steady flow of traffic, mainly patronizing our perfume department and our linens and housewares and gifts department on the top floor.
Was the traffic what you expected to be, or did it exceed expectations?
Well, I kept an open mind, but it's what I expected, and I actually embracing it because we're seeing a steady flow of traffic, manageable with all protocols, and it's been a good day so far.
All of us at Ports have been really, really pleased with the response of the public to this VAT holiday. We have had truly outstanding traffic throughout the day from early this morning, and it continues. So we've been extremely pleased.
Are your opening hours the same, or have you?
No, of course we have extended opening hours. Of course they vary from branch to branch, but we are quite literally open from 8 in the morning until 9 p.m. across the branch network. So there's opportunity right up to 9 p.m. tonight for persons to shop in store with us. And of course you can go online to shopcourts.com and you can shop straight up till midnight, VAT-free with Courts.
To news on the industrial front, government has committed to addressing long-standing issues affecting the island's nurses. Today, the two sides discussed matters including appointments, transportation, and uniform allowances. At a news conference this evening, Minister Bostic outlined several committees will be convened to address the issues.
We are also going to be establishing a committee to deal with the late and sporadic payments in the public service. And this is so because, well, the nurses have been complaining, and not only nurses, throughout the healthcare system, we've been having issues over the last several years. And these issues continue even though things are not as bad as they were back then, but we still need to do better. And this is a problem that has to be addressed not only for healthcare, not only for nurses, but throughout the entire public service. And the structure of this committee will comprise a permanent secretary, Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Director General of the Public Service, a member of the Barbados Nurses Association, the secretary, and we will also include some other persons to represent some other entities as well.
The Barbados Nurses Association is calling on striking nurses to return to work. BNA President Valerie Francis Miller made the call following today's talks with the Ministry of Public Service and health officials, which she described as cordial and productive.
Were matters that were being raised by nurses for quite some time over the years, and we have made some strides in which we have achieved some short-term things, we have some medium-term things, and some long-term things to achieve. And we have made some strides. So I believe that these are things that they have been asking for too as well. And today we were able to achieve some of these things. So I believe, and I would like to ask them to return and let us come and negotiate with these entities so that we can push nursing forward.
When pressed by reporters to address the allegations by the Unity Workers Union that government was engaging in divide and rule tactics, Bosses said he is willing to meet with the union once they have followed the correct protocols to convene a meeting.
When the whole question of the safe zones was taken to cabinet by myself, and I was given a mandate to go and to have meetings with the unions, I invited every single union to the meeting the evening, including Unity. And we met with those unions that attended the meeting that turned up. So I don't think that is, I will not answer that one because there's no divide and rule here. Far from divide and rule, we are seeking to bring all parties to the table so that we can arrive at some solutions that would be beneficial for the persons in this country who seek nursing care.
To news from Parliament, government must do better and promptly pay its debts to small businesses. Senator Lynette Holder made the call in the upper chamber as they debated the public procurement bill. In her contribution, she called for small and medium enterprises to be given a fair percentage of government's procurement of goods and services, but stressed that the pay must not be delayed for lengthy periods.
We have to equally, sir, put the mechanisms in place to ensure that our small firms in particular are paid promptly or as promptly as it's practical, because they simply cannot afford, sir, to have this inordinately long period of time before their bills are settled. Many of them, sir, run the risk of even going out of business. I know of examples where firms, sir, have been at the brink, can't pay staff. I have one in the construction sector in my organization, sir, that has receivables over $500,000 in a particular ministry, sir. And therefore, we're calling for improvement in this area.
Independent Senator Reverend Dr. John Rogers supported his colleague's call. He further expressed concern that too many contracts were landing in the hands of large companies, while small and medium-sized enterprises were not benefiting enough.
Where contracts are awarded and then all subsidiary contracts are part of the same company that received the award. And therefore the pie, the little pie that we have here in Barbados, is not being equally spread around. And so some of these small and medium enterprises do not even get a look into the window, far less a welcome through the door. And I would like us to do something about that. I do not know how we will structure the legislation to do it, but certainly I believe that that is an area that we seriously need to look at in this country, where there are these large companies, and for example, you get a contract for a building, and the electrical contract and every other contract goes down to the gardening, goes to some subsidiary of that large company that received the contract. And so nothing gets spread around, everything stays in the same place.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, my name is Christian Paul. I'm the country manager of BCIC here in Barbados. When the COVID vaccine first came out, I thought it was an interesting and a potentially successful way for us to navigate our way out of the pandemic and a return to some state of normalcy. I took the vaccine because I have a young family. I want to make sure that they are safe and protected. I have friends, extended family, and obviously I work here with colleagues, so I thought it was a good way to help protect them and to keep them safe, as well as myself. I would encourage others to take the vaccine because I know that you can still transmit the disease even if you're vaccinated, but the chances of being severely ill or worse, dying, are significantly reduced.
Let's roll up our sleeves and get back to living.
To regional news now in St. Lucia, penalized for promoting and issuing unauthorized Ivermectin prescriptions to her patients. A defiant Dr. Gilberta St. Rose is showing no signs of slowing down. Dr. St. Rose offered to pay the $10,000 EC fine imposed by the Medical and Dental Council using monopoly money. We get the details from NBC Prime.
On November 24th, the Medical and Dental Council formally notified and fined Dr. Gilberta St. Rose $10,000 for conducting an unapproved and unmonitored clinical trial using the anti-parasite drug Ivermectin to treat COVID-19 in her patients. Dr. St. Rose was issued a 30-day deadline by the Medical and Dental Council to settle the fine. The embattled Ivermectin advocate has offered to pay up well before the December 24th deadline, except the currency she intends to use probably isn't legal tender, at least not in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union.
Medical and Dental Council of St. Lucia are playing games with me.
Right, yeah.
The Medical and Dental Council are playing games with me. So here that's $10,000 fine.
Yes.
I will open this box and see how much money is in there to pay that fine of $10,000.
I must take a picture of that.
Let's see how much is in there. You know, monopoly money, because this is a game. The folks are playing a game with me. Medical and Dental Council, your money is coming. $10,000.
On the international front, former U.S. President Donald Trump sued New York Attorney General Leata James, seeking to stop her civil fraud investigation into his company. We get more in this report from Reuters TV.
In a move to stop a fraud investigation into his company, former U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday sued New York Attorney General Letitia James. The lawsuit comes after it was reported that James's office would seek to question Trump under oath, as it probes whether the Trump Organization manipulated the valuations of its real estate properties. Trump and the company claim that James has violated their rights under the U.S. Constitution by pursuing what they call a politically motivated investigation. The civil probe is related to but separate from a more than 3-year-old criminal investigation by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance of the Trump Organization's business practices, which James joined in May. As part of that probe, the company and longtime Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg pleaded not guilty to criminal charges earlier this year, in what a prosecutor in Vance's office called a sweeping and audacious 15-year tax fraud.
That's news, but for the very latest, you can visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates or like us on Facebook and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.